good morning. Excited to still be playing this time of year. I think that our guys are looking forward to the opportunity we have to go to Charlotte and play in the ACC Championship game against a great football team. Any time that you can win 28 straight games like Florida State has done, I think that at least those of us in coaching understand how hard that is or whatever. So be a huge challenge, but one that we're looking forward to. We had that opportunity a couple years ago and didn't get it done. So we've got a reprieve and another chance, and had a good week of practice so far. Looking forward to going up to Charlotte and play.
Where's Florida State's strength, would you say, in looking both sides?
Well, I think that they've got great athletes on both sides of the ball. If you look offensively, certainly you'd start with a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback. They've got a really good receiving core. Rashad Green's a great player, and then Nick O'Leary. They found a young back that's dynamic. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Duke Johnson, I think. Great speed, quickness. And 4 of their 5 guys are on the offensive line are all conference. So defensively, a bunch of 5-star guys over there. Jalen Ramsey is kind of a hybrid safety / linebacker, is a really good player. Goldman, Mario Edwards, I mean, they've got a bunch of good players. So they're a very athletic team.
Just keeping with Florida State, even though they've won all these games in a row, a lot of them have been close. It seems like every week a lot of people are sort of saying, I can't believe they haven't lost. What's your thoughts about that and the fact that a lot of people are picking you to win now?
Well, I think, as I said earlier, I know how hard it is to win. So I think that you have to give them all the credit in the world for winning. And somebody asked me earlier today on a radio show about that we had the good fortune when I was at Georgia Southern. We won 38 games in a row at home. And I can just tell you the mindset of our players were that somebody's going to make a play and we're going to win the game. It never entered their mind that we could lose. And I'm pretty sure that's where Florida State is, because they've made so many plays and they've managed to find ways to win. And, that's a hard quality to have. And my hat's off to them. People have gotten close, but it's not horseshoes or hand grenades. Close isn't good enough. As long as they keep winning, they keep winning.
Do you feel like you're starting to build some of that type of mentality with your program? You guys have really been pretty amazing at finding ways to win with your back against the wall.
Yeah, I think our guys have done a good job since, October. We had a pretty good stretch here towards the end of the year where we got out in front and won by pretty good margins. But I don't have any doubt our kids will play. I mean, we're going to show up and they're going to play hard and they won't give up. And no matter what happens, we'll keep playing. I'm assured of that. So, we're just excited to have that opportunity. I mean, it's not every day that you get to go play in the conference championship game, and you need to take advantage of it when you have that opportunity.
What's it like this week? I mean, you're sort of the flavor of the week. The bigger school across town, across Atlanta, is not playing. What's it like to be in this position all of a sudden here in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. From me personally, this week hasn't changed a whole lot. I mean, I'm immersed in trying to get ready to play Florida State, and I got up early Sunday morning and came in the office and broke down the Georgia film and got into Florida State, and I've got into my routine. And other than doing a few more interviews we had to do a teleconference for the ACC on Sunday and maybe a few more interviews, I haven't had time to reflect on it. It's kind of neat that somebody else is getting beat up instead of us for a change. So, but other than that, I kind of go about my business and do what we got to do. I mean, I'm trying to make sure that we're the best prepared we can be to go play Florida State. And that's been my focus pretty much.
Is this week sort of an opportunity for you guys because most eyes in the area are on you this week? They're not on the other team that's not playing.
Well, I think anytime you get on the national stage, it's an opportunity. But I'm more worried about us going and playing the way we can play and getting our guys ready and make sure that we maximize the opportunity. Make sure that we get there. And it's like I told our guys yesterday, you have to realize there's a lot of guys who play football and a lot of schools and a lot of teams who never get this opportunity to play for a conference championship. I mean, just look at our own league. I mean, there have been only a handful of teams that have gotten to the game. And so make sure that you maximize your opportunities and that you have no regrets when you finish. So when we come off that field on Saturday night, it's not, well, what if, we know that we went out there and laid it all out there and did our best. And if you do that, the score will take care of itself, one way or the other. You can live with it then. What we don't want to do is show up and not, play very well or not play hard or not be prepared. That would be awful. And if you get the spotlight with it, that's great. I don't think any of our guys are adverse to having that spotlight and having the coverage. I'm sure anybody would like it if you can get it.
Going into the season, the offensive line, especially the defensive ends, were inexperienced, young, a perceived weakness on the team. Where do you see them now going into this game?
Well, I think Keyshawn Freeman's played really well all year for a freshman, and he's gotten better as the year has gone on. You worry about him getting worn down a little bit. About midway through, we moved Pat Gamble out there, and it gave us a bigger body, and it just helped us kind of set the edge with a bigger guy. And I think since we made that move, we've played better. In hindsight, it's something we probably should have done earlier. We mentioned it, but we just we thought we had guys, but I think he's helped out there as well. And then we've rolled more guys and played a few more guys. The other thing is we haven't played a lot of snaps. We've done a much better job on third down, getting ourselves off the field on defense this last run, and we've had some games where we were able to control the clock and limit the possessions. That's like Saturday night. I'm sure if you asked Jimbo, he'd tell you he'd like to have 16, 17 possessions. I'd like to have 8. So, it's probably going to be somewhere in between. But if in my perfect world, we'd have 8, they'd have 7. So that'd be a good formula.
Michael Summers and Corey Dennis have some big shoes to fill this Saturday. What do you see from those two?
Ricky June. Ricky's going to play some. I think they're ready to play. What we've got to be smart and make sure is, I don't expect the same thing out of Corey Dennis I expect out of DeAndre Smelter. They're two different guys. So what I've got to do is help Corey be successful and help Michael be successful. Michael's a really good athlete. He might be the fastest guy on our team. So, they're capable. We've just got to. They're going to plug into the system, and we'll find a way for them to help us.
I know you've been asked a lot, but the what did Zach and St. John meant to this team this year specifically? And could you use what the be back? I mean, obviously it's a role that requires a lot of toughness from the guys, and what you're looking for out of that role, and how tough a guy you have to be to play that role on a regular basis.
I think Zach and St. John have both played really well. They're both great examples of guys who are in their senior year who have worked hard and have gotten better each year they've been here. I think it's good that you have them both and they can complement each other. I think that's, again, both those kids are very tough. I'm not saying they're not tough, but I think that might be another misconception out there that you have to be so tough to do that. It's like, no quarterback is ever going to last in this system. And, we just finished year 7 and we lost one so far with a broken arm on an interception return. But that still doesn't stop everybody from saying, man, you better have 3 or 4 quarterbacks if you're going to do that. So I think that position is probably no different than a tailback who carries the ball 20, 25 times a game. There's very few spots in football that's not physical, But those guys are tough guys.
I guess describe a little bit just the comfort level you feel with Justin, running whatever you want him to do and making the checks and making the reads and the option, that sort of thing.
Well, I think that I trust Justin. Does he do everything right all the time? No, but nobody does. And but I trust him, to run the offense. He's still a sophomore in his first year playing. We're not to the point where we go out there and it's check with me and he gets to call whatever he wants. Could he get there? Possibly before he finishes. But I think he can execute everything we ask him to do. That's the comfort level. I don't have to not call a play because of him. There's other guys that there was a couple of plays Saturday I really wanted to run, but with personnel, I just didn't think we could do it. So I didn't do it. I just stayed away from it. And you try to call it for stuff that I feel like our guys can do that they're good at.
Is this a place you would like to retire at, your final destination?
Yeah, I enjoy coaching here. I think that, like I said, I think the school has some unique things that I enjoy. I enjoy being around this type of kid. If you're not serious about school, you're not going to make it here. And I think that we've got some really good student athletes. And for the last 13 years or so, that's the kind of guys I've been around. I've said before, I think our guys are very similar to the kids at the academy in a lot of ways. And I think the places are very similar in a lot of ways, more so than people realize sometimes. But, I enjoy the players and enjoy the school. It's been good.
Coach, to switch gears real quick, just a little bit, can you talk a little bit about the success of the ACC this past weekend, their games, especially versus the SEC?
Yeah, I think that was a really good statement for the conference. As I said yesterday, I told somebody I almost feel like I defend the league like I have to do the offense. But I think there's a lot of metrics that you can look at, from record against other Power 5 conferences to I believe, and I don't know if you can quote me on this, you could look it up. I think that the ACC's beaten 4 top 10 teams out of conference this year. And there's just a lot of dynamics, a lot of stats that would take away the misperceptions that, it's kind of like, just like there are probably some good basketball teams in the SEC, there are some good football teams in the ACC. And the conferences are perceived almost, exactly opposite. And so it was good for the league to have that kind of day. Yeah, I think it was important. We've talked a lot about that as coaches. If you're going to change the perception, you need to win some of those games. It's important.